classic physique right here. This is what you guys got to look like.
And so during this interview, of which, of course, the audio gets all screwed up. You know me with audio. And so I don't have the proper audio. So I'm just going to explain what went down. Coach Greg, and I'm here covering the Arnold Classic in Birmingham in the UK. What a great place. The weather is nice, a little bit of rain, but it's so much warmer than in Canada. And as soon as I land at the airport, I meet none other than Phil Heath. And after all these years, I finally get to meet him. I'd seen him get second place to Jay Cutler years ago. I was about 20 feet away from him when he was doing a photo shoot. Memories from back then, and seeing as I'm still involved in the sport right now, it's amazing to see how far people have come after he won so many of Mr. Olympia championships. Then I get to the hotel and Jay Cutler's there. So multiple Mr. Olympias. Later on, I did run into Ronnie Coleman, but he was very busy. He was running through. So I haven't actually met Ronnie in person, but I did 20 years ago in the 2000 drug-tested national championships. I won the lightweight, didn't win the overall, but Ronnie Coleman was there, 295 pounds. He had striated glutes, and he was guest posing. He was 6 weeks out from the Olympia. I've photoed with him from way back then. I think he had 30-some-odd inch quads. It was ridiculous. And so to see these guys 20-plus years later, it's truly an honor to be here at the Arnold Classic. And at the contest hotel, I run into none other than Lex Little, a guy I'd done a natty or not in the past on, who actually got it wrong. He was actually natural. I made a video on that. Got to talk to him. He was with Sam Sulik. We chatted for 15 or 20 minutes. Sam Sulik had the Papa John's pizza. Just a really great guy. What a great voice. People that listen to this guy, he has such a soothing, calm, real voice. You know he's not bullshitting anything. And many people think I have beef with these guys. I'm sitting backstage. We're talking. We're all friendly. We all like each other. There's no beef whatsoever. Yeah, I make videos talking about other people. And so, yeah, I'm not a fan of all the bulking and so on, but hey, it's working for him. Now, I posted a photo of the two guys, Sam Sulik and Lex Little, and I'm telling you, all the comments are, Lex Little doesn't look good. He's fat. He's gained so much weight. I think he said he was up to 218 pounds. Now, let me just make this clear. He's not fat. He perhaps is not as lean as he was. He did, in fact, go on a bulk. And you all know I'm more of a fan of mean gaining. But he's not fat. His body fat he's not obese. He's not 25% body fat. His body fat's still likely under 20%. And so he's not as lean as he was, but he still looks great. And so please stop the hate on this guy. He still looks fantastic. Just bumped into Alex Eubank lined up at the airport. He's going to go meet all his fans. Very positive guy. He's super optimistic. His last video promoting people to stay natural. A very good message. I'm actually going to be reacting to it. Very good video. Please go check it out. He's driving the car. He's just speaking off the top of his head, talking about you don't need steroids to look good. Also, got to meet Sush for the first time. Sush, I've been making videos about this guy for many years. First time I actually got to meet him, take photos with him. He introduced me to James English, another great guy. He's looking jacked, thick, lot of muscle. He says he's going to be competing later in the year. And so I was at the Young LA booth meeting tons of people. That was a great place. It was absolutely packed. It's a huge spot. So many athletes, so many people walking around. And walking around the venue, bump into all these guys, famous, some not so famous, some up-and-comers, young guys, teenagers. It's amazing how many people are just doing such great things in the sport. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20-year-olds who look ridiculous. And many of them are, in fact, natural. And there's so many things you can do here, not just tending the various booths. There's protein samples and you can buy clothes and workout stuff. There's so much to do there, but also just watching various events. For example, you can go and see some powerlifting. I was watching women's strongman. That was very entertaining. Girls are lifting up these bags and running through the theater. It's amazing. So many different sports. There's people doing medieval stuff, warrior stuff. It doesn't matter what you're into. There's going to be something here that you would want to actually take part in. If you're involved in fitness, losing weight, being healthy, this is the place to be. And one other thing that's so incredible, I don't even have a booth. I don't have my Harder Than Last Time company set up here. So I'm just walking around. I see other people. For example, Noel Diesel, will be filming with him later. Ran into him at the gym this morning. Great guy, super nice. He has a huge line, hundreds of people lined up to go and meet this guy. I don't have any lines to beat booths or anything like this, but I can just rummage through the crowd and meet random people, and you never know. Sometimes it's little kids, sometimes it's old people, males, females, young, old. Everyone just basically such positive people saying great things. And so a lot of people think that there's this drama, and I actually get this a lot. They'll come up to me and be like, I don't know how you get any hate. I don't know. I don't understand that. I'm like, no one's running around here doing this with me. This is just a few trolls or like, I don't know what you call them, robots on the internet, people that are just keyboard warriors. And they say a couple things. But in general, everyone knows I'm just about being positive. I say my piece. I say what I think. I'm real. I'm not going to lie. I tell you what I think, but it's all for the betterment of the sport. And so if I'm talking about classic physique and I'm saying I think this guy is going to win or that guy, it's not like I'm hating on one guy for not looking as good as the other guy. Or if I say bikini's this or bikini's that, or I think that these weight classes should be in, or maybe there's too much muscle in this category, or they should move their hair to the side bikini. It's not that I dislike the category. I'm trying to make it better for more people. Because remember, I meet thousands of people and they tell me what they think. A lot of people, for example, love bikini, but they can't compete in it because they have professional jobs and it's not so comfortable. Not everyone is comfortable walking around in a thong, for example. It's not that it's bad to do that. It's just not everyone can do that. Like, if I asked my mom and said, "Hey, if you were in really good shape, could you walk around in a thong?" She'd be like, "No, I don't even think my mom's ever worn a bikini." And so not everyone is just comfortable doing that. Not that there's something wrong with that. And so, hey, maybe we can make this a little easier on people to compete in, or maybe we can add another category for like a fitness category where it's less of like, arching the back and these things, and make it a bit more sensitive to people who are perhaps more religious and so on. Is that really bad? And yeah, sometimes I come across with a strong opinion, a strong mind, and I raise my voice, but it doesn't mean I don't care. I'm very passionate. And so when I get on a topic, I start talking and I can ramble. I get it. But I do mean the best, and I do want everyone to be as freaking happy as last time. Okay, and now about classic physique, my favorite category to cover. And so after they all finish posing, I'm going backstage to interview. And of course, as soon as the competition's over, I head backstage to go interview the champ himself, Wesley Vissers, fresh off his victory at the Arnold's in USA. And I gotta tell you, as you can see with me interviewing him right here, look at the size of this guy, not just the height, but the width. And look at the arm, the vascularity, the sheer amount of muscle on his biceps. Can you actually believe it? Is this not nuts? I'm telling you, this is exactly what classic physique represents. He has a small waist. He's absolutely shredded. He has muscles everywhere. He has the X frame, the wide shoulder. He has the freaking quads. He's got it all. And he's been at this for years. He's been passionate about it. He's wanted to represent the classic physiques from the 70s and the 80s, and he's done it in spades. He's actually done it and then brought it up a level. He basically, to me, looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger, except even leaner. That is what I see when I see Wesley Vissers.
Personally, I don't think anything personal, because I'd like to say your opinion. And you always express your opinion, even if it's all the way around 3 years later, which is right now. So I appreciate your
Physique's incredible. This is classic physique right here. This is what you guys got to look like.
And so during this interview, of which, of course, the audio gets all screwed up. You know me with audio. And so I don't have the proper audio. So I'm just going to explain what went down. And so he said, I was a little bit nervous because when they put me off to the side at the start, I was thinking, am I going to be in third or fourth place? Because remember, when there's 4 people called out, if you're not in the front 2, you're probably going to be third or fourth. 4 people, you get 2 in the center. That's for first and second. And so the thing is, at the end, they moved him to the center. And so remember, the judges can do anything. At the start, they could put 4 people. They could be comparing these 2 on the side and then these 2. And then after a round or 2, and say, these are our 2 guys. We want to see those 2 to see who's going to come out on tops. And so we had Wesley Vissers versus Brianna Ainsley, who I also interviewed after. And in my opinion, Wesley is just a little bit more dominant, more shredded. And because of his height, he looks that much bigger. But Brianna Ainsley, who I'm also cheering for, he's 44 years of age. He still looks incredible. And he said, I'm not going to stop here. He wants to go at least until he's 50. He's going to be continuing to compete this year. The guy just keeps getting better. I swear, he looks better now than he did 5 years ago. And so at 44, he hasn't reached his potential. He can get even bigger. And with the additional 7 pounds they added to classic physique, he used to compete at 180. Now he's 187. He's perhaps an inch shorter than Coach Greg. He looks so big, and he has a very small waist and ridiculously impressive biceps. The biceps for him, I think that's his best body part. And so the way I see it is Wesley's going to be first place. I think that Brianna's going to get second. I think is going to get third. And of course, I forget this man's name, the shredded crazy ripped guy, crazy glutes. I think he's going to get 4th place. And so Wesley described how crazy it's been since his win in the Arnolds. He could never have imagined such a long lineup to come and meet him. And he's so excited. But he went back to the drawing board. He didn't want to rest. And although he's sucking up the joy and the excitement, the dopamine from winning that show, he wanted to come back and repeat and do it all over again. And so Wesley did believe that at this show, he came in leaner than last time. He said in other competitions, when he did shows back to back, what often happened was the first show, he wasn't quite lean enough. And then the next show, he got even leaner. Sometimes some people, they burn out. But if you peak properly, you can look your absolute best at your last competition on the last night when you want it most.
You know, and the funny thing is, you say it's all about the Instagram now. They pay more attention now to social media.
Oh my God,
you see how they would never strike videos because they wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Also, great to hear such kind words from these guys like Wesley, Vissers, and Breon explaining how they love how I'm very honest in my videos, that I'm very passionate about what I do, that I say what I think. Because let's be honest, if we can't speak out and explain what we think, if there's censorship going on, then how can the sport get any better? If I only tell you the things that you want, for example, if everyone wants a certain person to win, and I just make a video and I say, yeah, let's say that person win, then what's the point of that? Would you not want to know what I truly, really think? And so I think it's important that we're very open, honest, and transparent. For example, when I make my videos and I say I'm not natural, I say I'm on HRT, I think it's important that we be honest. We're not trying to glorify these things. For example, I discourage anyone from taking performance-enhancing drugs. And if they do, I always say wait as long as possible. Do so with the advice of your doctor and never break the law. I explain to people the pros, the cons, the good, the bad, the ugly of all of these things. I try to educate people. I don't want people to make the same mistakes that I did. Remember, I was a young kid. I didn't know all these things. We didn't have the internet. And so with knowledge comes power. And I feel like the more I can explain things, the more likely you will do the right decision for you. In the end, you're going to do what you're going to do anyway. Whether my video is up or you don't watch my video, you're still going to make a decision. And so would you not rather know everything you could possibly know about it before you make that final decision? Once you take performance-enhancing drugs, and I think it goes without saying that if you want to win a competition like this, you're probably not natural. Am I saying something too far? Am I going too far? Probably your champions of champions, probably not natural. But I'm seeing a lot of teenagers, 15, 16, 17, 18, at these competitions, and they have incredible benches, incredible physiques. They'll ask me, do you think I'm natural or not? You see these kids, 15, 16, I'm like, you don't look natural because, I mean, most kids don't look like that, but I really, really hope that you are. And they'll say, yes, I'm natural. Well, keep going. You don't need to do steroids. You can do it. You look incredible. Keep going. Because oftentimes people, especially now, they want to get it right away. They don't want to put the work in. And it's not that they don't want to work. It's just that they want the glory now versus getting it later. And I can tell you, I can promise you, you'll have so much more respect for yourself, and you'll love what you did so much more if you had to work excessively difficult to get there. When I got my pro card, I was 35 years old and I competed since high school, and I did 42 shows natural first. And yeah, I didn't get my pro card natural, and so I ended up taking performance enhancing drugs. But I did the best I could natural first. I did everything I could, and the entire journey was incredible. And so eventually I said, I want to get a pro card. But I had thought about it. I weighed out the pros and cons. I'd done all the research. And so once I made that decision, it's my decision to make. Whether I regret it or not, well, that's on me at that point. But if you're only 18, 16, 20, you're so young. I can't even imagine at that young age having taken steroids. I was so far against it at that point. You need to at least reach your natural genetic potential. If you're still making progress in the gym, then you have no business taking steroids or SARMs or peptides or anything. Do the best what you can with what God gave you first. If you decide to take something later, that's on you. I'm not going to sit here and judge you and say you shouldn't do it. I mean, obviously, don't break the law and make sure you see your doctor. But the amount of, I guess, just being proud of your own accomplishments, it's going to be so much more if you worked your ass off for it. Like, think of it. If I got my pro card at 18 years of age and became, say, the youngest pro ever, and I trained for 6 months to get it, and I got it just because my genetics are so much better than everyone, and I took the most amount of steroids, and I win my pro card, so what? Like, you didn't work for it. It's kind of like if you're smart and you didn't study and you got 100 on your exam and you get 100 all the time without studying. Do you think you're going to be as proud as if that kid who got a 50 or a 60 and they just struggled with school and then they started studying 10 hours a day and then suddenly they got really good grades, and the more they studied, the better they did? Sounds a bit like me when I was growing up. I didn't do that great in school. When I was in elementary, junior high, senior high, I didn't have the highest averages. Then suddenly I'm like, wait a minute. I want this. And as bad as I wanted to be good in sports, I did this in school. And so I studied harder than last time. I went from studying almost never. And yeah, I was good in math, but other subjects, not so much. And I studied I think I studied more than anyone in that school. And what happened in the end? I'm getting awards for having the highest average. And then I go to university. And what do you think I did in university? I studied more than anyone. There's no one that outstudied me. And what did I do? I trained harder than last time. I trained harder than everyone. And what was the result? I had the highest GPA in university. I went on and got my master's. I made videos. I worked hard to be the best is what I am. Did I have the best genetics in the world at anything? No. Did I have really good genetics? Yes. If I had horrible genetics and I had the proper upbringing, I couldn't have done what I did. But I'm telling you, if you don't try all out harder than last time and really put everything into it, how will you know your limits? And so, yeah, I like to make videos and I'll say, imagine your dream physique, close them, picture it. And I'm like, open them. You're not getting it. You're probably not going to get it. I'd rather see you set realistic expectations and then go all out to get that. Realistic. If you want to look like Chris Bumstead, probably not going to get it. Realistic expectations, do your best, but make it realistic and then do your best and get it. And once you get it, guess what? You can then have a new goal. What's wrong with setting a goal every single year? Instead of saying, I just want to win the Mr. Olympia, I want to be Chris Bumstead. Why don't you think I want to put on 5 pounds of muscle? And then you can do that. And when you get that, build 5 pounds more and keep working at it. But don't think you need to take shortcuts. And this is for everything in life. I don't care if it's for a job. If you're a kid and it's in school, you're in high school right now, get a freaking amazing grade. Do you want to go to university? Well, how do you know you're not going to like it? You might love it. I met people at the conference today. I started watching your videos and I had this job. And then because of your videos, I loved studying the body. And now I'm in university. I'm studying to be a kinesiologist. Imagine how great it is for me to hear these things. Motivate people to study and to want more. And remember, I just said it, knowledge comes power. And so keep studying, work harder, get after what you want, go after your dreams. And when you can do this, for example, if you can go to the gym, let's say 5, 10 years straight and train consistently, day in, day out, and you can suffer that way, how do you think you're going to do it everything else in life? If you can go to the gym and diet for a bodybuilding competition and suffer that way, how hard do you think it is to study to get an A in that exam? Oh, I know. I'll study 8 hours a day for 3 months straight. You don't think I did this? Of course I did. And why do you think I got that mark? I got a 50-something average in biology in grade 10, and then I get a 90, whatever it was in grade 12, and I go on to university, and I'm getting 3.93 GPA out of 4. I'm being specific just because I remember. But I got that because I studied. Had I been the same guy I was in high school and junior high as I got older in life, I probably wouldn't even have been able to go to university, let alone get the highest GPA. And so if you work hard and you try hard, you can do it. Not mean that you can do it and look like Chris Bumstead, but you can certainly reach your goals and your dreams. But if you're not actually trying hard enough, if you're not putting all your effort in, then you'll never know what you could have achieved. And so whether it's with your body, or whether it's with school, or whether it's with your job, or even with your girlfriend, if you can put all your effort into something and you can try really hard, you can do anything. But people who are just slack and they sit there and they waste their potential, there's almost nothing more disappointing than seeing someone do that. Remember, I was a school teacher for 11 years and I coached powerlifting, basketball, soccer. I coached every sport, and I would see these gifted athletes or these super smart students, smarter than me, and they wouldn't study and they wouldn't show up for practice. And they wasted their potential. I'm like, you could have been so much more than me, but they just wasted it. It's so disappointing to see. And so here's my message. Go out and do it. Go after it. Don't do it half-assed. Go harder than last time. That is my motto. That's what I've been preaching for years. Harder than last time. Longer than I've been making YouTube videos. Harder than last time. How hard can you go yesterday? Can you do more today? Remember, you're progressive overloading. In grade 7, maybe you can't study an hour every night. Can you study 10 minutes? Maybe can you give yourself 10 minutes to study? And in grade 8, can you do 15? By grade 12, you'll be studying an hour every day. And by university, you'll be studying 5 hours a day. And then when you're at your job, you'll be studying 5 hours every night. You'll become a high-value man. And if you're a woman, a high-value woman. work hard and go after it. And so that is my message. Check out the Arnold Classic. Continue to watch my videos. Thank you for all your support. I love to see all the kind messages, and I also love to see the hatred messages. Those are just as fun. I enjoy reading all of it. Remember, I feel as though I'm a WWE character. I can't always be the good guy. Sometimes I got to be the bad guy. If you want to support me, you can, of course, get my cookbooks. You can get my harder than last time supplements like GO2 Max, Ecti Builder, Turk Builder, Creatine, Delta Sleep. There's so many supplements. Like, I don't think you would actually understand. Those of you who have never gone to my website, go there and you'll be shocked. There's other supplement companies. I don't think there's a single company out there that can rival the variety and the quality of the supplements that I have. And remember, Ecti Builder and Turk Builder are backed by independent labs proving exactly what's in it. Other companies, they're not doing this. I'm not going to name names, but had products tested and it didn't meet label claim. Not going to name them. And so if you want actual turkesterone, Turk Builder. If you want the proper Ecti steroids in Ecti Builder, you got to get that. I'm on both. Some of you are going to be skeptical, and I agree with you. I would be too. I would be like, no, I don't know. I don't believe it. And so this is what you need to do. Go and look at the reviews. Don't get it yourself. I don't need you to. I just need you to ask somebody who actually used it and say, what do you think? You ask somebody that used it, they're going to give you the honest answer. That's what you need to do. Ask somebody who's used it. But what you don't do is ask somebody who's never tried it. I'll give you an example. Creatine. I interviewed or asked or had a survey over 100,000 people. Does it work? And over half said no. Creatine we know works, right? The literature says it works, but yet half didn't know if it worked. And so when I tell you that Ecti steroids or Turk Builder is better than creatine, I'm not lying to you. Why? Because I know more than 50% who use it are going to say it works. And so am I lying? Is it just a placebo effect? Because if it's placebo effect, why is it that over half of the people who use creatine don't notice it working? Is it because it's not working, or they just don't notice it? Remember, I used to sell PEDs. I admit it. I used to do it. And so I sold people Anavar. This is just an example. Now remember, I don't want you to sell this. It's breaking the law. I have a criminal record in the past. I'm not bullshitting. I'm very honest about this stuff. And many of the people will be like, I don't notice it working. I've even dated people that were using it. And I'm like, you think I'm going to give it to my friends or people I've dated and say, hey, try this? Of course not. And so they're literally using it and they're like, I don't think it's working. And I'm like, yeah, I know it worked because I'm using the same thing as you and it's working. And so is it really the product that's not working, or is it just that you don't notice it? And so remember, Turk Builder, I'm telling you, it's so good that most people are actually going to notice it. That's how strong it is. And so I strongly recommend you check it out. I'm not bullshitting you. And we have the proof in the pudding, the labs, independent labs showing you exactly what it is. And so if you don't believe me, don't buy it. But if you do, I can't wait to hear your reviews. Remember, if you're interested in any of these things, it's code Greg for 15% off. Don't forget about the cookbooks, training books, coaching plans by me and my team, the Circle Diet Book, My Life's Work, How to Lose Weight and Keep It Off for the rest of your life. Obviously, watch one of those two bloops. Please comment to boost the algorithm. Like the video if you liked it. And until next time, I am out.